Alberic of Setefrati, B.C. 1100, was a monk of Monte Cassino under Abbot Gerard 1111-23. His vision was written down in 1121-23 by Guido, a priest of Abbey of Monte Cassino. His work was corrected by Alberic, under Abbot Alcorrido, with the help of Peter the Deacon in 1127-37. Primary focus of criticism has been on its relation of the Divine Comedy. The sole miss, of about 7,000 words, is Monte Cassino 257, full 712-34. This work bears traces of the influence of the visions of Perpetua, Wedi, Furcius, and the Voyage of Brendan, texts that were present in the library. The vision begins with Alberic lying sick, as if dead, for 9 days. Saint Peter and 2 angels, Emmanuel and Helos, act as his guides. Hell is visited first. It is a series of locations, each dedicated to a particular group of sinners. There is a river of purgatory. Alberic is eventually shown the 7 heavens and a land beyond, of which he is not permitted to speak. He is shown the 51 provinces of earth before he is finally returned to his body when Peter tells him to remember to make an offering each year at his church. Toward the beginning of the 12th century, in a castle called the Castle of the Seven Brothers, Alberic, the son of the lord of the castle, remained 9 entire days in a condition of unconsciousness. It was while in this state that, at the age of 8 years, he had the following vision, which is related in the first person.
A bird of white plumage, like a dove, gently placed its beak into my mouth. I felt he drew something thence, I knew not what. Then, seizing me by the hair, he raised me up into space. Soon the Apostle Peter appeared, accompanied by 2 angels, and they conducted me to the place where evildoers undergo their punishments. I saw first a vast circle in which was a multitude of very young children, in the midst of burning mists. Saint Peter told me it was here that those whom death had stricken before baptism, were purified. Then the apostle directed my attention to a terrible valley filled with innumerable mountains of ice, the summits of which the eye could scarcely see. In the ice were tormented many souls, some were in it up to their knees, others to their middles, and still others to their breasts, according to the gravity of their crimes. A few, plunged in head foremost, had only their legs protruding. Saint Peter informed me that these were such as had committed rape, adultery or incest. We next passed into another valley, not less horrible, full of trees with sword-like branches, from which were suspended women whose breasts were being constantly sucked dry by serpents. These were women who had refused to foster little orphan children. I also saw in the same valley still other women suspended from trees by their hair, with flames beneath them, and these I was told were those who had indulged in unlawful loves. Further on there was a ladder of white-hot iron, of immense height covered with spikes. Those who were forced to ascend it soon fell, and were engulfed in a vast lake of burning oil and rosin. Thus, the apostle told me, were punished those who had not restrained their fleshly appetites on Sundays, holy days and fast days. For it is absolutely necessary to deny oneself all carnal pleasure on these days, and to consecrate them to works of charity. I was then conducted to a great lake, filled, as it seemed to me, with blood. But my guide told me it was fire, into which homicides and tyrants were plunged. For 3 years the murderer was forced to carry upon his neck a demon in the form of his victim, after which he was hurled into the lake. We finally arrived at the very mouth of the infernal chasm, resembling a vast pit. The eye could not pierce the darkness. A terrible odor and frightful lamentations proceeded from it. At the entrance was chained an enormous and hideous 2-headed serpent. Before one of its mouths was an infinite multitude of souls, whom the monster inhaled like flies, disgorging them again from the other mouth, in the form of burning embers. I next saw a lake of liquid metal, from which issued jets of flame, which consumed the sacrilegious, and such as had practiced simony. The apostle next conducted me to a sea of sulphurous fire, in which a multitude of souls were wallowing, tormented by serpents with which demons struck their faces. These were false witnesses. Through the middle of the plain where I now found myself, flowed a burning river. Across it was thrown a bridge of iron, very broad at first, but as narrow as a simple thread toward the center. The less sinful a soul, the greater the rapidity with which it crossed the bridge. The more sinful ones, upon reaching the center, fell into the boiling flood below. Demons drew them out and replaced them upon the bridge, whence they again fell, and so on until purged of their crimes, when they could cross the bridge with ease. This, the apostle told me, was the bridge of purgatory. Continuing upon our way, we arrived at a valley which, my guide informed me, it required 3 days and nights to traverse. It was so strewn with thorns and obstructions that the foot left no mark upon it. I saw a demon mounted upon an immense dragon, and brandishing a hideous serpent in his hand. As soon as the soul arrived in this valley, the demon pursued it across the country, continually scourging it with the serpent. When this punishment had continued until the soul was cleansed of its crimes by grief, it then acquired the airiness necessary to permit it to escape from the pursuit of the monster. The souls then entered a flourishing country, exhaling the sweetest perfumes, where its limbs, torn by the thorns, are healed of their wounds. The souls of the just who dwell here, enjoying blessed repose, welcome the new arrival, and congratulate him upon having escaped the common enemy.
Then follows an orthodox description of the sensuous delights of the happy otherworld, in this, as in most visions, very brief. In the center is situated paradise, which these happy souls will enter at the last judgment.
Saint Peter,
Says Alberic, in conclusion,
showed me a great many other marvelous things, and gave me useful advice, which he ordered me to communicate to men upon I return to earth.